If you took a high school history class, you likely learned that Ferdinand Magellan was the first person to circumnavigate the globe. It's a foundational story of the age of exploration, but it is entirely false. While Magellan's expedition did complete the trip, Magellan himself never made it the whole way. He died halfway through the journey in 1521, leaving one of his subordinates, Sebastian Elcano, to actually finish the voyage. In the Western world, his death is mostly treated as a historical footnote, if it's remembered at all. Yet in the Philippines, that exact same event is considered a crucial foundational moment in their history. This map highlights the geographical setting where his legendary voyage actually came to a violent end, the Kingdom of Mactan, located in the central islands of the modern-day Philippines. Examining exactly how and why a world-famous, heavily armed explorer was killed on a Pacific beach reveals the fatal arrogance that defined the era of discovery and conquest. Look at this 16th century map. The prominent vertical line running down the Atlantic represents a 1494 treaty between Spain and Portugal, a diplomatic agreement designed to split the globe perfectly in half and prevent a war over new territories. Two European kings simply drew a line and claimed the earth, completely ignoring the hundreds of millions of indigenous people who already lived in the lands they were dividing up. Spain got the west side of that line, which created a massive geopolitical problem. Because of the treaty, they were blocked from sailing around Africa to reach the highly lucrative Spice Islands. They desperately needed an untested, incredibly dangerous western route across the Americas. Enter Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese sailor who defected and pitched a solution to the King of Spain. In August of 1519, the king funded Magellan with a massive fleet of 5 ships and roughly 270 sailors to go find that western passage. Over the next 2 years, the expedition endured absolute brutality. They suffered shipwrecks, a violent mutiny, and starvation as they navigated the freezing waters at the tip of South America, ultimately becoming the first Europeans to enter the Pacific Ocean. Surviving a harrowing, seemingly impossible journey across uncharted oceans gave Magellan intense confidence. By the time he arrived in the Philippine Islands in March of 1521, that confidence had calcified into a dangerous sense of invincibility. At first, his arrival in the Philippines was a political triumph. Magellan forged an alliance with Raja Humabon, the ruler of Cebu, and successfully initiated mass conversions to Catholicism. But Humabon was a politician. He used his new, heavily armed European allies to demand submission from a rival chieftain on the neighboring island, Mactan. That chieftain's name was Lapu-Lapu, and he flatly refused to convert or yield to the King of Spain. Magellan decided to force the issue. Certain of his absolute military superiority, he took a landing party of just 49 men to Mactan. He even ordered Humabon's warriors to stay back on their ships, telling them to simply sit and watch the power of European weapons. This animated diagram shows exactly how that arrogance played out on the beach. Mactan's coastline was guarded by a wide expanse of shallow coral reef, forcing the Spanish ships to drop anchor far out in the bay, well out of cannon range. Lapu-Lapu proved to be a brilliant tactician. Instead of charging immediately, he kept his 1,500 warriors at a precise distance. He let the heavily armored Spanish wade slowly through the shallow water, firing their muskets and crossbows from too far away, until they were nearly out of ammunition. Once the European firepower was depleted, Lapu-Lapu ordered a massive charge. He issued 2 specific commands: stab at their unarmored legs and kill the leader. Thousands of warriors swarmed the small Spanish force, cutting Magellan down in the surf. Magellan fell when he prioritized a performance of superiority over military strategy, walking blindly into a trap engineered for his own arrogance. The geopolitical fallout was immediate. The defeat at Mactan completely shattered the illusion of European invincibility, delaying Spanish dominance in the Philippine archipelago by roughly 4 decades. The human cost for the expedition was staggering. Of the 271 sailors who left Spain with dreams of conquest, only a battered crew of 18 men on a single ship managed to make it back home. The Battle of Mactan serves as a microcosm of the Age of Discovery. a moment where colonizers fatally underestimated a local population while ignoring the existing power structures. Yet the historical memories of that day split in completely different directions. In the West, Magellan's navigational achievements earned him immortalization. As seen in this deep space photograph, entirely separate galaxies, along with craters on the Moon and Mars, still bear his name. Meanwhile, in the East, the chieftain who defeated him became a legend. Lapu-Lapu is celebrated today as the ultimate symbol of Philippine resistance against foreign subjugation, immortalized in towering bronze statues, sword and shield in hand. That victory is deeply ingrained in modern Philippine culture, actively commemorated every year by local reenactors clashing on the beaches where the invasion was stopped. Explorers might draw the lines on the map, but history is defined by the people standing on the beach who push back.